Morning, everyone. My name is Stacy Sykes, Executive Dean of Hofstra University Center for Entrepreneurship. Welcome to the Hofstra Veterans Venture Challenge final round. So today, 10 finalists will compete for seed capital and in-kind prizes. The program focuses on sales, marketing, and leadership mentoring to help veterans get clarity on their go-to-market strategy and groom their businesses for sustainable growth. The program is generously sponsored by longtime entrepreneur in residence Kevin Hesselberg, a 3-time CEO of technology companies whose exit value are in excess of $1 billion. It has been a pleasure to work with Kevin, who has not only invested his money, but his time and expertise in working one-on-one with the companies, leveraging his contacts to help them with their business growth and connect them with sources of capital. You will hear from Kevin later in the program when we announce the winners. Since April, the company founders participating in the Hofstra Veterans Venture Challenge have engaged in over 60 go-to-market sessions with Kevin Hesselberg, marketing expert Judith Peterson, and 10 Hofstra student interns. More than 40 pitch preparation sessions with entrepreneur in residence Aaron Foss, and over 80 mentor sessions with 10 volunteer mentors, including Henry Bonner, Dan Kerning, Peter Kestenbaum, Robin Herman, Chris Lapinto, Scott Matovich, Gary Podell, Dave Rubenstein, Barbara Roberts, Ron Yakel, and Michael Zakea. And they also participated in 10 workshop sessions at the virtual boot camp, all coordinated by the Center for Entrepreneurship. I would like to thank President Rabinowitz and Provost Berliner for joining us today. President Stuart Rabinowitz established the Center for Entrepreneurship in 2015 and has been a regional leader in supporting businesses and entrepreneurship on Long Island as co-chair of the Long Island Regional Economic Development Council, as well as continuing to provide leadership through the pandemic by leading efforts to assess its economic impact with the Nassau and Suffolk County executives. President Rabinowitz, I would like to invite you to give some welcoming remarks.
Am I doing this correctly?
You are on.
I'm on. Okay. Good morning. I want to thank all of you for pitching in this effort. I can't tell you how proud I am of the Hofstra Center for Entrepreneurship in establishing this venture challenge for our veterans. And what could be better in terms of what we want to do, what we want to accomplish, than to help nurture and our veterans who have served our country and to protect all of us. And to combine that with our innovative entrepreneurs center, especially led by the innovative Stacy Sykes, who just does a fabulous job in running it. We're so proud of this and proud of you. The 10 finalists that we meet today are incredibly special. They have been chosen from more than 100 entries and represent a real cross-section of products and of services. Between the in-kind services that we've already established and the prizes awarded today, the value of this competition to our veteran finalists total over $120,000. And like everything Hofstra does, we're pretty sure that it's the largest of its size, this kind of competition, in terms of value and prize money all over the country. And of course, there's no charge for entry into this competition to our veterans. The Center for Entrepreneurship was established back in 2015, as Stacy said, and our entrepreneurs in various competitions have received more than $500,000 in prizes over that period of time. The marriage, and that's what we consider the marriage of supporting our veterans and focusing on hundreds of entrepreneurs, led to the Hofstra Veterans Venture Challenge, which joined several other programs at Hofstra, which are specifically geared to support the men and women who have fought to protect our freedoms. And it's not only the Mentor Challenge, it's the Yellow Blue Ribbon program that we participate in, It's Hofstra Army ROTC that includes not only our students, but students from the 10 other Long Island institutions, since we are the only home of ROTC on Long Island. Our law school, our innovative law school, has established the Robert Entenman Veterans Law Clinic, which helps at no cost veterans obtain disability benefits. And our Joan and Arnold Salzman Community Service Center is also available to veterans. So I just want to end by wishing you the best of luck today, the finalists. I wish you could all win, but the rules are you can't. But in a real sense, you all are winners for getting to this point, and especially in this crazy pandemic. And I congratulate each and every persons who entered, and especially our finalists, and especially our winners. And please know that all of you are now part of the Hofstra family, and we hope to continue to support you and your ventures in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Rabinowitz, and thank you for your support of this program. We appreciate it. I would like to now introduce the Provost of Hofstra University, Herman Berliner, who is also involved in the creation of the Center for Entrepreneurship and has worked to provide experiential learning opportunities for students. Provost Berliner.
Good morning. Thank you, and I want to echo President Rabinowitz's remarks in that we are very, very grateful to our veterans for their service to our country. They really have preserved our freedom. In addition to the mentorship from CEOs and from business coaches, the finalists today also had the opportunity to work closely, but virtually, with 10 very talented Hofstra University student interns who implemented digital marketing strategies. The Hofstra Veterans Challenge is one of the many programs at our Center for Entrepreneurship to support entrepreneurs, and we connect students using experiential learning with these companies through internships and consulting opportunities. These are invaluable experiences. Our Frank G. Zarba business is home to one of the top undergraduate business programs in the nation, and its graduate programs are highly ranked by the U.S. News and World Report, the Princeton Review, the Bloomberg Business Week, and Forbes. As the previous dean of the business school, I've had the pleasure of working with the Center for Entrepreneurship to integrate immersive learning for students with the 50+ companies that are working with the center at any time, and as well as to provide students with the opportunity to interact with the entrepreneurs in residence working at the center. The veterans participating today will be continuing to work with students through a collaborative experience with undergraduates in their capstone course this fall. It is clearly a win-win situation for all involved. Veterans, you are welcome back at Hofstra University anytime to speak to our students about your experience as veterans and as entrepreneurs. And we will continue to support you at the Center for Entrepreneurship. Good luck to everyone today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Provost Berliner. We appreciate the support. So I am going to ask my colleague, Sharon Goldsmith, Vice Dean of Entrepreneurship, to join me in introducing our judging panel. Our first judge is Harvey Brofman. Harvey Brofman is an active angel investor, entrepreneur, mentor, and advisor to many early stage ventures. Harvey led Opus Health from its founding company through mergers, acquisitions, and its spinoff and sale in 2006. The company was a pioneer in adjudicated copay card processing, disrupting the system that took away physician and patient choice in medication therapy. He is a board member of the New York Angels and managing director at Angel Fire Ventures, an early stage seed fund. His investments are typically in early stage fintech, healthcare health tech, mobile, and social analytics audience management in companies that have early market validation. He currently runs Point of Care Systems, a startup in the pharmacy space, and invests through his holding company, 9-4-Bit Slices, LLC. Thank you for joining us today, Harvey.
Our next judge is Dave Calone. Jove Equity Partners and Chairman of Patriot Bootcamp. David is the CEO of Jove Equity Partners, LLC, a venture capital firm that helps build technology companies located throughout the US. He has served on boards of 10 privately held companies and is a co-inventor on 19 US patents. He is the founder of the Long Island Emerging Technologies Fund, which helped launch and provide seed funding for 10 companies developed at research institutions here on Long Island. He serves as founding national board chair for Patriot Bootcamp, which helps veterans and active duty service members from around the country start businesses. He also helped organize a bipartisan congressional caucus on innovation and entrepreneurship in the US House of Representatives. After graduating from Harvard Law School, David was a federal prosecutor. He has an economics degree from Princeton University and currently lives in Setauket, New York.
Thank you, Sharon. The next judge is Cheryl Casone from Fox Business Network, FBM-AN. Cheryl Casone joined Fox Business Network as an anchor in 2007 and currently serves as the co-anchor of FBN-AM, which airs weekdays at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. Cheryl is also a financial contributor on Fox News Channel, where she provides weekly job reports and has multiple years of experience covering finance, business, and consumer news. Prior to FBN, she worked as a freelance business correspondent for CNN, primarily reporting from the New York Stock Exchange, and she worked for CBS NewsPath as a general assignment reporter. She also had morning news anchor roles at MSNBC and NBC. Previously, she anchored a business show for San Francisco's KRON TV. Cheryl has served on the boards of the Associated Press Television and Radio Association, California and Nevada Regional Chapter, and American Women in Radio and Television, San Francisco Chapter. A native of Dallas, Texas, Cheryl graduated from Northern Arizona University. Thank you for joining us today.
Our next judge, Charles Ha from TA Associates, is the Vice President of TA Associates Technology Funded Investment Team. TA is a 50-plus-year-old global growth private equity firm that is currently investing from its 13th fund. Prior to TA, Charles was an investor with General Catalyst. Charles attended the University of Pennsylvania and Northwestern University. While a student at Northwestern, Charles co-founded 2 businesses, a catering company and a shipping storage company for student goods. Charles now lives in Boston. Thank you for joining us, Charles.
And our 5th judge is Tim Yates, a board member of an investor. Tim has over 45 years of general and financial management experience, board of director experience, and has been an active investor in and mentor to early stage companies. Tim's vast experience includes multiple positions at Monster.com, including CEO when the company was acquired, CFO of Symbol Technologies, which was sold to Motorola for $4 billion, and multiple positions, including CFO of Bankers Trust Company. Tim was an early backer of OpenLink.com. Tim currently serves on the board of CommScope.com, a $7 billion market cap global leader in wireless and fiber optic solutions. He is currently an active investor in several early stage companies and is also a supporter of College Spring, an organization dedicated to closing the college opportunity gap for students from low income backgrounds. Tim received his MBA from Harvard Business School and his BA from Yale University and lives in Rye, New York.
And now for today's format. The finalists will each have 6 minutes to pitch, followed by 4 minutes of Q&A. We will have a 5-minute break after the first 5 pitches. Then at 12:30, we will have a 25-minute break for the judges' deliberations.
Okay, so we're going to get started. Good luck to everybody participating today. Our first finalist is Anthony Gant from Austin, Texas, and he is the CEO of At Ease.
Can you guys see my slide?
Yes, we can.
And you can hear me, okay. All right, Alec, I'm ready. Hi, I'm Anthony, CEO and founder of At Ease, short-term housing solutions for the military and government. We have identified an amazing opportunity which addresses the lack of short-term rentals that meet government compliance. Popular booking sites like Airbnb are forbidden for use by military on official travel because of safety, security, and compliance, which means that 500,000 service members and their families that move every year and an additional 3 million plus service members that are traveling for work are restricted from short-term rentals until now. We're built ground up with compliance embedded in our model. We're operational with traction. $41,000 in gross revenue since our inception in April 2020, another $46,000 in booking not yet recognized, and 2020 projections are in the mid six-figure range. We have over 600 listings in 5 sites in the last 3 months. Our large partnership that we closed a few weeks ago is going to bring us multi-thousand listings that are currently in our pipeline. Our tech is fully functional, taking bookings, executing payments, onboarding listings. We have a live crowdfunding campaign where we raised over $100,000 and seeking an additional $400,000 to close it out. Our key management on board is organized by functions. One of the advantages of being a veteran-led company is our ability to build teams. The military teaches us how to identify big, difficult problems, break them down into manageable segments, and assign them to tasks and put the right person to accomplish it. And that's the deliberate approach that we've taken to develop our team. We have me, the CEO, a degreed engineer, active duty of 20 years and transitioning into the civilian life shortly. Greg, our COO, is a Marine veteran pilot with operational experience both as a military veteran and as a vacation rental manager. Mateo comes to us with hospitality experience, and he's bringing a level of networking connections that we couldn't dream of possible. Brianne is a military spouse of an Air Force service member and brings to the table project management experience along with government contracting. And Pete, also a Marine veteran pilot with operational experience, and he's bringing data science to the team. Our chief advisor and honorary general is none other than Brian Sharples, founder and former CEO of HomeAway. Out of the gate, we've applied our secret sauce to making this work with federal compliance checklists and verifying that each listing is in compliance before going live on our site. We speak military, which is the key focus of our customer service, allowing us to save service members and their families money while putting them in comfortable and safe accommodations. We've also embarked on a unique opportunity to decrease mortgage churn, which means service members with homes that have to sell their house every 2 or 3 years when they move can now set them up as a short-term compliant listing on at ease and start making passive income by listing to other service members traveling to the area and building equity long-term. Here's a use case that we experienced a few weeks ago, sourced via military spouses, social media groups, and word of mouth, which cost us $0. A military Marine family are going to San Diego, spend 8 days with us where their government allowance was $290 a day, where we averaged $100 in net revenue, making a total of $800. By winning this competition, this will allow us to apply resources and engage more service members and their families just like this one to make us get to the next level. I'm excited to share with you our slick go-to-market strategy, which is assistance through Hofstra University and what they've helped us accomplish. We know that military spouses are the decision makers when it comes to making travel decisions, and that is our customer. We have military spouses pitching to military spouses where they're engaged in social media platforms, referral programs, and building ambassadorships. We also have a focus on targeted initial markets like San Diego, San Antonio, Tampa, Florida, North Virginia, and the DC area because there's huge footprint of service members and vacation rentals. We're also attractive to our vendors because of government compliance pricing, which means we are allowed to charge 0 commission on all federal travel. And most of all, we have a no hassle reimbursement guarantee today, which has been 100%. Knock on wood. Our vision is simple: simplify short-term housing in the military and government environment. Join us as we reduce the stress of government travel, creating better opportunities with respectable, trustworthy travelers, while leveraging our military culture to create standards that puts us all at ease. For those interested, there's a full appendix with more details and financial forecasts, our market size, expansion plans, accomplishments, and exit discussions. I would just love to discuss this in detail, so let's connect today. I'm Anthony, CEO and founder of At Ease. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Do any of the judges have any questions for Anthony? Tim Yates, would you like to ask a question?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you, Anthony, and thank you for your service. You're embarked on building a two-sided market. By that, I mean you need people to come and make reservations, and you also need a supply of people and houses going into your program. Which one is more difficult to achieve, and how do you think about keeping them in balance as you build the company?
That's a great question. So one of the challenges that we're having initially is on the customer side, which is our demand side. And that's due to building brand and trust specifically with the military spouses. And we plan to achieve that with the military spouses networking and pitching to military spouses. That's why we're taking a deliberate approach to bringing them on our team. On the demand side, Mateo Bradford, who worked with a company called Rented.com, which is a revenue share company, he has a huge bank of networking connections and partnerships, where his biggest partnership deal when he was with Rented was Booking.com. So that's how we're able to bring in a preponderance of our current inventory, and we're looking at bringing on more in the next 6 months.
Thank you.
Charles, do you have a question?
I do. Quick question, Anthony. How do you get certified to be a viable housing option? While, just as you said, Airbnb is forbidden. So just wondering what the process looks like to actually get certified.
That's a great question. And what we've done is we've condensed hundreds of pages of government bureaucracy and put it into a simple 2-page process and found out what the basic minimum requirements are. By doing so, we noticed that every bedroom where a person deems it as a lodging space, it has to have hardwired smoke detectors. They have to have carbon monoxide detectors, as well as making sure that there are 2 points of exit within the facility so that if an emergency happens, an individual can escape quickly. And then we also look at the overall safety and the environment which these listings are in, which is another requirement by the government to make sure that not only is the place safe, but the location which that person is going to. So taking all of that information and what we learned, we're doing that to create a hospitality standard, which currently doesn't exist, to make sure that not only is it federally compliant, but it is at ease compliant, which is our certified standard of quality.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stacy's having a little technical difficulty. So do any of the other judges have any questions?
Hi. Yeah, this is Harvey Brofman.
Thank you,
Harvey. Go over the revenue model. I mean, you said approximately $3,500 per transaction. So just 3 questions along the revenue. Explain the model. Explain whether you're the renter or the family's the renter, and what's the cost of acquisition for a new opportunity.
So that is an actual great discussion. So I'll start with the second question that you asked. The service member is the renter. And then as far as the model goes, we're charging the government rate, which they pay us, and we pay the difference to that vacation rental vendor. So there's something that we like to call in the At Ease house is we protect the bottom. But rather than discuss it and get in detail, I would love to talk to you in length and go over the exact model and talk about how we do it and how we make our money from that, just because of the time limit that we have here.
Thank you. Cheryl or Dave, do you have a question?
Yeah, this is Dave. I just had a quick question. I was a federal prosecutor, and there's also an issue not just in the military, but the other parts of the federal government for travel. And I was wondering how you are seeing this apply to the broader federal marketplace?
Thank you for that question. And because we're doing everything in compliance with the GSA, General Service Administration, and as well as the Department of Defense's requirements, which takes their initial guidance from the GSA, we're able to build our foundation and our compliance that we've embedded into our model to later on in our later iterations. And as we start to scale and develop our operations into the federal sector, we're looking not at just military, but we're looking at government contractors and federal employees from all 15 departments of the US government. And then we look to expand that on once we solidified our footing into both the state and local governments as well.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the questions.
My question was answered, Sharon, but thank you.
Great, thank you so much. So
Sharon,
next, thanks very much. Apologies for the technical audio issue. Next up, we have Cathware, Brian Mojica from Lawrence, Mass.
Can I start?
You sure can.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Brian Mojica. I'm a registered nurse. I'm the CEO and inventor of Cathware. Cathware is a medical underwear that I designed after I got a vision in the operating room. It says I was muted by the host.
I can hear you, but if you want to start again, that's fine.
Okay. My screen says that I was muted. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Brian Mojica. I'm the CEO and inventor of Cathware. I'm also a registered nurse, and listening to patient after patient come in and complain about the leg bags being strapped around the thigh and around the ankle. I got a vision in the operating room on the innovative design found in Cathware. Cathware removes the use of the Velcro straps from the patient's legs. The bag slides up and down the leg, and it creates complications for the patients. The plastic to skin creates sweat points as well, which further irritate the skin. Patients tend to over tighten the straps, and that can cause significant medical complications for the patients as blood clots and reduction in blood flow as well. More commonly are the rashes that develop and then infections. So patients have to have treatment on top of infections with everything else that they have that's going on. The embarrassing moments of not being able to wear shorts or skirt or a dress, especially in the warm weather that we've been having, it adds a lot of complications to the patients, and it significantly decreases the patient's quality of life. Cathware's innovative design, I encompassed it to hold all drains that are placed in the kidney, in the liver, and in the bladder, and in the urinary tract as well. The innovative design, there's nothing like it on the market. There are other products that change the problem, but none of them solve the problem like Cathware does. Our cost of goods is running us just under $11. We're retailing it for $39.99 and wholesaling it at $25 a unit. We are covered through Medicare as well, and the physicians love it because they can write a script for it and send it to a national distributor that we've just partnered up with that focuses solely on scripts, and the national average for it is about $45. Cathware is a patented design since 2013 and is the only solution on the market that is covered through Medicare. It is manufactured as a unisex, but we market it as a male and a female. We found out through research with a marketing company that men will not buy anything that is for a woman, or women will not buy anything that is for a man. Our current USA market size right now that is in dire need of Cathware is 2.25 million. And that is 1.1 million patients that have complications with their catheters that go into the ER, at minimum, 3.4 of those would give us the market size of 2.25 million. Cathware has the opportunity to connect annually with $66 million worth of business, because there are 1.1 new drains that are placed every year. And if every one of those drains had a leg bag, that would be a potential sale. At any given time, the total market size is 1.8 billion, because on average, there's 30 million Americans that have a catheter in place for 2 weeks or longer. This is something that's very private. So even though you may not know somebody that doesn't have a catheter, it's not something that is spoken of freely. Currently, right now, we have a multitude of distribution channels. We have a proprietary website at cathware.com. We sold last year 500 units in the fourth quarter, and we sold 500 units within the first 5 to 6 weeks of 2020. We're selling on Amazon as well, and on Amazon Canada. We have national distribution deals with Henry Schein and Byram Healthcare. They're some of the largest distributors in the nation. Byram is key because we can funnel all of our script business directly to them. They already have Cathware on inventory and are actively moving the inventory. Urology Health Store, we have other brick and mortar companies as well that we've partnered up with. We have a distribution deal with a nurse in South Africa. And recently we've just started serious negotiations with Men's Liberty. They have an incontinence product where it is a bag that ties onto the, or gets placed onto the end of the penis. They have access to 30,000 patients in their client list. So this is very significant here. As you see in 2019, the first 3 quarters, it was more of a pilot. We did a soft launch. We gave away 500 units to the military men and women for free that were struggling with leg bags, but we also used it to gain information from them to find out what tweaks we could make. When we launched in the fourth quarter is when we launched on Amazon. If you go to Amazon and you look at the reviews, we've been on for almost a year at this point. We're averaging 4.5 stars. Amazon is very telling. If you have a bad product, they're going to let you know. And to have a 4.5 star rating with almost a year, almost 40 reviews, it's very promising for Cathware. We are currently growing at a 44% rate per quarter. We have reached our limited marketing efforts with a 2-person team that are currently working full-time. Our Q3 and Q4 sales were significant. And also, we had an increase in sales through COVID. And that is really important to know because the elective surgeries were stopped and we still saw an increase in sales. And again, it's the trajectory for Cathware is looking very well. Our team is made up of Edwin Alvarez, has his MBA, myself, the inventor, and Hector Arce, the co-inventor, who is also a critical care nurse. We are currently in the process of building a pediatric sample and researching the market and exploring how to expand in South Africa and in Canada. I would like to know if you have any experience with any other leg bag users and what we can do to work together to really take our share of the market. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Yes, ma'am.
Do any of the judges have questions for Brian?
This is Dave. I just wanted, could you talk a little bit about manufacturing and the process there and what kind of risk you see and how you mitigate it there? Thanks.
Yes, sir. We're currently manufacturing in China right now. We haven't run across any risks and we haven't run across any delays either. We did want to have it built in the United States because we're a certified veteran-owned company, but it would have been impossible, or we would have been charging the patients $75 for each unit, and we knew that that wasn't going to be able to grow the business. We are looking for other manufacturers in the Philippines and also in the Dominican Republic as we speak in order to explore ways to bring costs down and in a multitude of ways, especially with shipping.
Thanks, Brian. Judge Tim Yates has a question.
Thank you, Brian. You may have answered the question, but just go back over it. Who actually makes the buying decision? Is it the physician or the patient? And is a prescription required?
That's a great question, sir. You can buy cash, which is most of our business have been cash purchases. We quadrupled in sales from our fourth quarter within the first 2 quarters. The patients that don't want to buy cash, now that we've partnered up with Byram, a national distribution company, they can take the script and that the doctor gives them, and Byram will process it. So we have given patients a lot of avenues to purchase.
Thank you.
And the other thing that you're welcome, sir. The other thing that you said is the buying power. We have seen it is the physician recommending them to our website. It is the patients themselves or also caregivers that are looking for ways to manage bags. I understand that it's very biased coming from me saying that it is the most innovative brand on the market, but we also have to speak the truth. It is very innovative because it was designed by a nurse. The research that I've done, I don't believe, and I could be wrong, that the other products that were designed were by a nurse. And that is what's key about myself being a nurse and the team that we have, because I worked in the operating room. I assisted the doctors in placing these drains. I've seen the complications of the patients wearing the leg bags and the reduction in the quality of life. So to answer your question directly, really, whoever can get access to cathware.com is who has the buying power. And with the flexibility that we have for the hospitals, we just partnered up with a urology practice in Los Angeles. They buy from Henry Schein. Now we're able to join those 2 leads. We are in the process of closing a deal with urology at Tufts Medical. We have now brought Byram Healthcare into Tufts Medical. So it's a reverse incentive, which is a personal goal of mine, because I believe that Cathware is going to be able to help other people sell other products that are in their portfolio, which in turn, it's going to really grow Cathware.
Thanks, Brian. We have about 45 seconds left. If any of the other judges have a
Hi,
question.
it's Harvey. So I just have 2 questions. What's the opportunity per patient, on number of units? And the repeat customer numbers were kind of low. So I'm wondering, is that because there's a flaw in the model of these things don't wear, there's not a consumable? Talk about that.
No, they're washable and durable. And the reason why it's a low number is because it's a surgical procedure. So when you heal, you no longer need it.
What about, people that are long-term?
People that are long-term, I've never really been happy with that number because we have a 3 for $99.99. Sometimes patients come on the website and they buy 3, they buy 6, they buy 12. So it's hard because they wouldn't need to come back. So that number is something that we kind of, I go back and forth with. I don't believe that it's an accurate assessment of the trajectory of Cathware, but it is a number that is significant to share with people because I do understand how important it is for the return purchases. But the 3 for $99.99 is our top seller.
Thanks so much, Brian. And thank you to the judges for your questions.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Brian. Our next finalist is Michael Smith, the CEO of Custom Donations from Florence, South Carolina.
All right, we good on screen and audio?
We do not see your, oh, there you go, we're good.
All right, great. Well, good morning. My name is Mike Smith. I'm the founder and CEO of Custom Donations. We're going to talk about the challenges facing organizations with their online giving and how we're providing for better fundraising. Right now, giving is in a crisis. Your local community foundation's annual gala, which would bring in most of their budget for the year, has been canceled. Churches, many of whom rely on passing the plate for their budgets, their doors are shut. So the revenues from these traditional fundraising methods, 0. So what are they doing? They're turning to their online giving, and they're finding out that their online giving is terrible. The donor experience is poor. In many cases, they're offloading the donor to a third party to conduct the transaction. The donors don't have an affiliation with these third parties, so that can hurt conversions. The fundraiser needs are not being met. They're running multiple campaigns throughout the year, funneling everybody back to the same giving form, which can be long and sometimes not even mobile friendly. So there's a big disconnect there. Their internal operations also suffer. If you say you're going to drop in a Square to take in-person payments, you're introducing another data reconciliation process, which is burdensome. We're here because they don't have the staff, the budget, or the skill sets to execute custom online giving. In many cases, they're outsourcing their websites, and sometimes those companies don't even have the skill sets to execute custom online giving. That's why we're finding that when half the donors say they would prefer to give online, less than 9% are actually doing it. Why is that? It's because the tools are wrong. There's a huge potential here to close that gap. In fact, I've personally taken a multi-million-dollar nonprofit from 6% of donors giving online to over 30% of donors giving online. So that's just one reason why organizations would want to use custom donations. We're providing them customizable branded giving forms that can be launched by non-technical staff. So we're giving them more functionality while reducing their internal burdens. We have tools to do smart, data-driven fundraising easily. And we work inside any website and we sync back to any database because we operate independently from both. So just how easy and powerful is it? Well, when the premier alumni association in the country wanted a new giving form to better target their current students, their developers said it would take weeks. So what did they do? They launched with custom donations, and in 5 minutes, they had exactly the form they needed and removed those roadblocks. That's how you execute online giving. But what about their call center and their mobile app and their text message giving? Well, we can unify these typically disparate payment flows onto a common platform, allowing for simple management and data reconciliation. That's one way how we simplify internal operations. For most clients, we take 1.5% of all the money flowing through our platform. We also have yearly plans so that reduces our transaction fee, provides more functionality. We have an enterprise plan so regional nonprofits can onboard local nonprofits with their own independent accounts, but we funnel the data up to the parent organization, solving a critical data issue for them. We're also launching hardware sales, and we have future enhancements planned so people can add functionality for a monthly add-on. Let's talk about growth. Growth to date has been consistent and strong, and revenues in 2020 have already exceeded 2019. It's important to note that most of this growth happened with no staff and no marketing. So imagine what we're going to do when we get a robust team in place. How have we done this? By word of mouth and by capitalizing on the successes of some of our larger clients like universities, United Ways, and Catholic Charities. Additionally, we've done it through our partners and integrations like Stripe and with the Ruffalo Noel Levitt's call center. So let's take a closer look at a specific client. For the past year, we made $1,700 with this client. But better yet, we increased giving by $3,400. That means that they made $1,700 by using our platform. And when we look across the board, we're increasing giving by over 2.6%. That's how we're helping organizations execute better online fundraising. This is a $430 billion market with 1.5 million nonprofits in the US. And that's just the beginning, because the US nonprofit market is only the tip of the iceberg for custom donations' vast market potential. In fact, we've already processed money in 9 different currencies for over 50 organizations outside of the United States. We can also service membership-based organizations, even homeowners associations, and we have clients in these verticals. I've been building custom data-driven websites since the early 2000s, and I've spent the last 11 years exclusively in the higher education and nonprofit markets. It was during this time I saw that critical needs were not being met by the products that were out there. So Custom Donations was built to meet these needs, and we've been launching future enhancements and further refining the product for the last 2.5 years. Michael Scahan has been in tech sales and higher education for over 11 years. He sold to me before. We kept in touch throughout the years. And when he heard about what we were doing at Custom Donations and I showed him the product, he had to come on board. He joined the team a year ago. Since joining the Hofstra program, we've launched a number of social media engagement initiatives, which have greatly increased our visitors, our followers, and our impressions. In fact, this week, we initiated a new integration with one of the largest gift matching providers in the country after they contacted us from seeing one of our posts about what we were doing. Additionally, we were a sponsor at camp. So this sponsorship got us in front of 27 universities doing demos, which generated huge interest in our product. We're doing follow-ups right now with more team members involved, and we expect to get $10,000 to $15,000 in yearly contracts from the single conference alone. In fact, 3 of our biggest universities are camp members, 2 recently launched, and when we can talk about their fundraising successes, we'll be able to better approach the other 160 members. In the next few months, there are at least 35 conferences where we could get in front of thousands of potential clients. Custom Donations is a strong product with a proven track record of fundraising success. We're highly scalable, and we can handle hundreds of new clients tomorrow. If we win this competition, we can directly put the money to use to do just that, and we have a plan to do it. I'm Michael Smith, and that is Custom Donations.
Great, thank you so much, Michael. Do any judges have questions for Michael about custom donations?
This is Dave. Just a quick question on customer acquisition. You mentioned conferences and those kinds of things, or online conferences, but do you see, are there other tools you can use other than sort of the face-to-face, whether it's online or in person means of getting new customers?
Yes, a lot of that has to do with telling stories about the successes that our clients are having, as well as building out more integrations with other partners in the same field. And that's most of what we've been doing so far.
Thanks.
This is Harvey Brockman. Could you just talk about what the competition looks like that you're facing?
Yeah, so there's definitely broad competition across the board, but they are taking different approaches than we do. Some of them are all-in-one products. A number of years ago, I saw that a lot of people were moving away from the all-in-one products because they didn't need a lot of what they offered, and they were very expensive. So we have ways that people can launch easily, same day. And the way that we embed our product is different than pretty much every other embeddable product, where we are seamless on the website. We can be completely branded, so it provides a better donor experience.
Tim here, could you clarify whether you're involved in the payment flow? I presume not. The second question is, talk a little bit more, you talk about being integrated into the website, but give us a little bit more detail how you integrate, with your clients.
Sure. So we are not involved in the actual payment process, which for PCI compliance reasons is one of the reasons why we're not. So the communications go directly from the donor to the credit card processor. They bypass us and they bypass the website. So it protects the key players in that and just keeps the responsibility on the credit card processor. We embed via JavaScript, and that's how our forms become part of the website. And that's how we can be branded just like the website.
And one follow-up, do you have annual contracts, multiple year contracts with your clients?
Right now we have, the majority of our clients are just on our basic plan, which means they sign up and we assess a transaction fee. We do have clients in both the Pro plan, which is a yearly plan, and that enterprise level plan. So those are yearly contracts.
Thank you.
Great. Does anybody have any other questions? Okay, thank you, Michael, very much.
Thank you.
Our next finalist is Natasha Nori Standard from Memphis, Tennessee, and she will be pitching Equal Footing.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Right. Hi, my name is Natasha Nori Standard. I am the CEO and founder of Equal Footing. We are a certified woman, minority, service disabled business. Here's our story. Wait, oh my goodness, wait a minute, something happened.
We'll pause the clock, Natasha.
Thank you. Okay, I'm ready. Start over. Hi, my name is Natasha Nori Standard. I'm the owner and founder of Equal Footing. We are a certified woman, minority, service disabled business. Here's my story. As a female paratrooper jumping from an aircraft, I have a very different experience than my male counterparts. Let me tell you why. Everything is incredible about jumping, the adrenaline rush, the skyline, the landing, not so much. As a paratrooper, when you exit an aircraft, the first thing you're preparing for is the landing. The first time I jumped and landed, I realized my military issue combat boots did not touch my ankles, so therefore did not support my ankles. Why is that? That's because military issue combat boots are made in men's sizes. So at that point, it became my duty to solve the footwear inequality in the United States military. Here's my background. I'm a Bronze Star awarded retired major. I was an airborne logistics officer. I was also a global supply chain manager with Williams-Sonoma after my military service. I have a master's of art degree from Savannah College of Art and Design. I went to Milan, Italy for 1 year to learn how to make shoes at our Sartoria Shoe School. So in 2017, I launched my own shoe line called Nori Shoes, a luxury shoe line that focuses on comfort and then style. And then in 2020, I started Equal Footing. So let's talk about the science. The female feet are not simply scaled down versions of the male feet. We have specific differences. We have smaller bones, we have our big toe is more shallow, and we have a higher arch. So what's the solution? So no longer do women have to manually grade our boot sizes from male to female. And then no longer do women have to wear 2 or 3 pair of socks to fit into their military issued combat boots. This is our solution. We have all of our boots meet all DoD boot requirements. We have a pocket for lipstick, lip gloss, keys, or credit cards, which is a really cool option for people that have to wear a uniform, and then your boots can carry all that other stuff. The black version is a preference towards police, security, and correctional officers. And the tan version is an option for military and construction professionals. And the hidden pocket is on the tongue, which is really innovative. So let's talk about the numbers. Let's talk about traction. So let's talk about traction. So we have an agreement with the United States Army unit at Fort Bragg to wear our boots for 6 months as a beta test. We also have a meeting with the Memphis Police Department in the middle of September. We have an agreement with the Women's Society of Engineers to post our product on their website. That represents about 40,000 women. This summer, we had an agreement with West Point. It was a soft agreement to provide 229 pair of boots to their freshman class. However, that's been delayed till January. We reached out to 20 senators and congresswomen. We got reception back from Senator Mickey Sherrill and Senator Joni Ernst. Why is that important? Because military people, we acquire our footwear 2 ways. We can buy it or it can be issued. The Senate Armed Services Committee approves the issued boots, and Equal Footing would like to be part of that issue. Let's talk about profits. Let's talk about money. How will we make money? So direct to customer will sell our boots at $149 per boot. That's a 72% profit margin. Current boots on the market are between $116 per boot to $279 per boot. We're at the lower end of the price spectrum. However, that does not represent quality. Business to business. We'll sell our boots to businesses between $125 per boot to $155 per boot. That's a 56% profit margin. Currently, boots are being sold business to business between $100 per boot to $200 per boot. Let's talk about our target audience. Based on research, we came up with 800,000 target audience. 415,000 of that is military women, active duty, reserve, and National Guard. 315,000 are women in the construction industry, construction design industry, police officers, correctional officers, and security officers. How will our customer find our product? Through military specialty stores, retailers, AFEs that's on base, and Lowe's. Also the Navy Exchange for the Navy and Coast Guard. Business to business. You have to go through DLA to get to DOD. Centos also offers footwear as part of their uniform stockage. Ameripride and Aramark are now combined. They sell boots to businesses as well. So that's how we'll find them. Let's talk about my team. So we have over 30 years of footwear production. I have David that helps me with finance and accounting issues. I have Monica that helps me find retailers and set up meetings for retailers so we can sell our product business to business. And Elena is an expert at textiles, which is very important with footwear. So when I win today, this is how I'll spend the money. 60% of all earnings in every spectrum will go towards production. Then I'll spend the rest of the money on website and marketing to include acquiring government contracts. And then of course, we have to do a beta test. So my name is Natasha Standard. That's Equal Footing. Come with Equal Footing into the 21st century where the sky is the limit. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. Thanks so much. Cheryl Casone has a question.
Yes.
Hi, Natasha. Great presentation. And I certainly understand as the only woman judge how important it is to not try to wear a man's shoe as a woman and a runner. So I get where you're coming from. I'm curious about the external markets, though, that you're targeting. I understand the military piece of this, but I'm wondering how much penetration you expect to get, whether it's from law enforcement or construction. I mean, how do you reach those markets? You've got a great team, but how do you reach on a broader scale those that may be interested in the boots?
Sure. So actually, since I've been part of the Hofstra family, I've had the National Association of Women Construction Workers reach out to me. I plan to, everyone that's in our target audience will plan to reach out to them and let them know about our product. And every time that I've done that, we've had great reception. So as far as construction design, mechanical engineers, police officers, security officers, I plan to reach out to those associations to let them know about our product. That's how I plan to reach them.
Are you worried about, kind of a cutback in government spending? Is that something that y'all have talked about?
We didn't discuss that, but that's something that I'll definitely take note of.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Tim Yates has a question.
Sorry, I was on mute. My bad. Thank you for your presentation. You gave us a target audience, but how often would the people in your target market replace the shoes? How long would they last? That's my first question. My second question is, how hard would it be for one of your competitors to steal your great idea?
Okay, first about the replacement. So basically I know I replaced my boots every 3 years. So that's the replacement. And a lot of it depends on where you are in your career and what you're physically doing. So, but I replace my boots every 3 years. So how hard would it be to take my idea? It probably wouldn't be that difficult. However, my plan to mitigate that is to get the government contract before my competitors can learn about my idea. And if I have a solid government contract, I'm still making money, even though they know about my idea. And actually, the plan is to have government contracts that are between 5 to 10 years in longevity. So I'll have at least 5 to 10 years to respond to their trying to take my idea. And actually, let me just talk about that. So as far as manufacturing is concerned, so if you're trying to manufacture a concept, footwear manufacturing, it takes a good 6 to 8 months to do that. So I would have that much lead time.
Right.
Great. Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you.
Our next finalist is Explorer's Guide Online CEO Robert Carsey from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? And Natasha, would you mind stop sharing your screen and I'll be able to jump on there. Perfect. Thank you. All right, can everybody hear me and see my screen?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Hi, I'm Captain Bobby Carsey with Explorer's Guide Online. I'm a Coast Guard veteran, and my last active duty assignment was as the commanding officer of a Coast Guard patrol ship. Airline pilots. Airline pilots need licensing and training to fly planes. It only makes sense, right? I mean, each year they're responsible for billions and billions of dollars of property and millions of lives. But what we don't often think about are boat pilots, commercial mariners. They need licensing and training too. I mean, each year they're responsible for trillions and trillions of dollars of property and millions of lives. Whether they're cargo or tanker ship captains, professionals serving in auxiliary functions at the ports and harbors throughout the world, or even the men and women who provide security for these harbors. They need licensing and training, and when they don't get it, bad things happen. Shipwrecks happen, property is damaged, and lives are lost. Right now, the majority of maritime training takes place in a classroom, and this is inaccessible and costly for most mariners. You see, mariners can spend up to 75% of their time at sea, so that 1 week off they have every month, they have professional and personal competing demands. When talking with mariners throughout the country, from Alaska to Puerto Rico, Texas to Maine, I heard things like, I can't afford to take a week off work to attend an in-person training 4 hours away. I heard this repeated over and over again. And I personally experienced that. When I went to get my commercial license, I had to drive 16 hours to attend a 2-day course. It was painful, and I thought there had to be a better way. And that's why I founded Explorer's Guide Online, or EGO. EGO is a commercial maritime licensing provider using all digital courses. Since we were founded a year ago, we've created and launched over 9 courses, all of which have been approved by the National Maritime Center, the regulating body. They've also all been taken by students. Our courses are a mixture of video presentations, interactive quizzes, and other features. And students can get the learning support they need by text, email, phone calls, and even Zoom. And since our courses are digital, they're available anytime, anywhere. There's no more travel costs, no more hotel rentals. You can even take our courses without connectivity. So if a mariner wants to advance his or her career, they can do it when they have downtime on their ship. What do mariners spend on this? Well, an initial license is about $1,000. When a mariner has more experience and wants to upgrade the vessel they operate on or operate further offshore, they must take a $500 upgrade course. And then every 5 years, per federal regulations, mariners are required to renew their course, which is a $300 cost. So we anticipate mariners spending $1,800 with us on basic licensing. This doesn't include any of the additional endorsements or upgrades that we offer, ranging in price from $200 to $800. This could mean thousands of additional spend with us. And oceans and lakes are filled with sailors looking for a better solution, a digital solution. And the competition is limited. Right now, there's one other provider focused on offering a digital training experience, but he mails out CD-ROMs. And in 2020, computers aren't built with disk drives. It's not really a digital experience. And in this attractive market, we've already found great traction. Since we launched a year ago, we've had over 60 students with almost zero marketing spend. On average, students buy 1.3 courses from us. This demonstrates the demand for digital. People want it once they see how great it is. And something that we're really excited about is our average contribution margin, the variable cost per course. We have an 87% contribution margin, which means we can rapidly scale while protecting that margin. We're continuing this traction by focusing on the military. Army tuition assistance programs have already recognized us as a premier online provider. So any soldier, whether active duty or reservist, can take our course and be fully reimbursed the cost. And these soldiers have $4,000 of Army cool spend that they can use each year. There's no reason they shouldn't take it with us because it's zero out-of-pocket cost to them. We intend on continuing this traction by getting accredited by the Distance Education Accreditation Commission, also known as DEAC. Many of you are familiar with the post 9/11 GI Bill, and when we get accreditation, we'll be able to enable GI Bill use for every service, active duty, reservist, and veteran. We'll also open up a host of federal and state funding tuition opportunities for non-military students. But this does come at a cost. Right now, our 2022 forecasted annual revenue is about $2 million. With a $20,000 investment, we can get DEAC accreditation. This brings in an incremental $4 million of revenue each year. We also intend on expanding our course offerings. We can nearly double our course offerings with a $20,000 investment. More courses means more students, means more revenue. With this small influx of cash, we can 6x our growth and achieve annual revenues of $11 million. Again, this will have a huge impact on our business and accelerate our growth and take us up a whole nother level. And we have the team to do it. With my work in the maritime industry and education background, I have the tools to grow and run a business. Rebecca, my co-founder, has a marketing and technology background and has mastered our e-learning platform, allowing us to rapidly scale. The commercial maritime industry is an ocean of opportunity, and with virtually no competition, we're positioned to be the biggest fish in the sea. We've cast off our lines, we've set our sails, and we're on a voyage to transform the industry. I'm Captain Bobby, and this is Explorer's Guide Online.
Thank you, Captain Bobby. Do any of the judges have questions? Okay, Charles.
Hey, Bobby. Yeah, a question that I have is who's currently creating the content that you guys are offering up? And then secondly, how do you become eventually the ultimate kind of certification body for these boat pilots?
Yep. So great question, Charles. I created the first content for one of our licenses, and then I went to an in-person provider who was ready to retire and purchased his tried and true content from him and digitized it. And then really to be the ultimate provider, right? The biggest fish in the sea, which is our goal. A lot of it's just getting accredited. You know, once we get an accreditation, we're kind of viewed almost as a college, right? In technical training, which again, validates us. The Army's already done that. And then provides that federal and state funding tuition.
Thank you, Bobby.
Bobby. Yep. I have two questions. First of all, could you size for us the size of the market in any given year? I know, I think it's pretty big, but I don't think you sized it. And secondly, I actually ran across you when I was looking for some boat training, and I found you on Google. What's your marketing plan?
Yeah. Did you reach out to us, Tim? Because if not, we'd love to have you sign up.
I decided I needed the free license course, not the paid one, because I'm not a professional.
Not yet. So Tim, there's about 390,000 mariners out there that need licenses. You know, various whether it's the basic or the upgrades and additions. Every year. Yep. So that's going to be somewhere in the $300 million range right now with the licenses that we offer. You know, as we add more, that addressable market expands.
What market share do you think you could ultimately achieve?
Yeah, I think we could really own it. You know, as things are going to digital, as COVID's impacting in-person training, there's no in-person training going on in the country right now. So this is an opportunity for us to really seize that market. I think we could achieve 30% would be the goal. And what was your second question, Tim?
Email marketing. I mean, not Google marketing.
Yep. So yes, great question on marketing. We're an online company, so we're going to focus on online marketing. And something I do want to highlight is with the accreditation and Army Cool, something that really works well is, you know, we're the only people that do this for Army Cool. And when a soldier went to sign up and said, hey, I want to get my maritime license, he hit vendors. Our name was the only one that popped up. So for the Army, we're going to be the only ones out there, especially with accreditation, and then online marketing and SEO and kind of Google optimization.
Thank you.
Great. Dave, you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys had explored more the broad bottom of the pyramid of more just consumer oriented, casual boat owners who have the, who may have some licensing requirements. More and more states are putting in some basic licensing requirements. So I was wondering if that's an opportunity.
Yeah, so that's definitely an opportunity and something we're exploring. Right now, about 48 states require some sort of boater safety. Right now, they can get a lot of that through, their Department of Natural Resources or state. But a really exciting opportunity that we're pursuing right now is Freedom Boat Club, one of the fastest growing boat rental franchises in the country. We've actually sold a course to one of their owners because they're going to get licensed. Every Freedom Boat Club wants a licensed captain. So that's really how we're going to address that market. But the recreational casual user, right now, it's not the best bang for the buck.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everybody. So we have a break scheduled. We're running 5 minutes behind schedule, but we're still going to take a quick break. Let's try to keep it to 2 or 3 minutes, and then we will be back for the next 5 pitches. So if everybody wanted to take a quick break, we'll see you soon. Okay, everybody, let's get started. The next finalist pitching will be NoRx, David Franklin from Austin, Texas. And I just also want to make sure the judges are back.
I'm here.
Great, thank you.
I'm here. Tim.
Thanks, Tim. Dave, I see you. Okay, David, are you ready? You just have to unmute yourself.
Okay, how's everything?
It looks great.
Thank you. I'm David Franklin with NoRx. NoRx is a mobile application that allows patients and doctors to simply and efficiently manage medication treatments for better outcomes. This is important because we have a healthcare problem, not just in the United States, but globally. Patients are failing to take their medications as prescribed is one of the most serious and long-standing challenges in healthcare. Did you know that 80% of physician visits results in a prescription? And 50% of these prescriptions are not taken as prescribed. 24% of these prescriptions are not even picked up. The resulting problem is huge, resulting in 125 million readmissions and 110,000 patient deaths. My father and my family contributed to this in 2018. This is my father in the picture. In 2018, he passed away due to a medication-induced side effect during a hospital stay. This is 3 weeks before his passing. As a child, I was very upset and wanted to blame somebody. And as a technologist, I wanted to fix something. And that outcome resulted in NoRx. One of the things I understood is that patients have to be empowered, but through medication mismanagement, we remain sick and have poor outcomes. Doctors don't intervene because they're not aware of what's happening. The current visit time with a physician is only 13 minutes, and doctors manage up to 2,300 patients a year. In a busy life and in a pandemic, we have a lot of stresses, and we don't need healthcare as an additional challenge, but it is. The NoRx solution, again, helps physicians and patients to simply and efficiently manage medication treatments for better outcomes. Patients receive alerts, they're empowered through knowledge-based articles, they build trust, and they receive more insights about their health. Physicians gain insights about their patients, they save time and reduce burnout. Together, we have healthier patients, better outcome, improved quality of life, reduce admissions that cost a provider on average of $14,000 per patient, and we save costs within a failing healthcare system. This is the view of our current application today for personalized medication management. Here we're enabling patients and physicians towards better outcomes through personalized drug intake performance, digitizing the pharmacy label, having accountability with someone that cares for you to ensure that you're taking your medication on time, being able to access quickly your pharmacy, your physician, telehealth, and also receive customized input through nutritional and wellness and holistic complementary inputs. And this year, we've all been impacted directly or indirectly by COVID. And as a business, we've taken change to help solve this issue. So we've taken our application and created individual health insights, allowing patients to track their vital signs and symptoms objectively, share them with telehealth and with their physicians, and then they can receive monitoring through e-rounds, updates, and recommendations. And we can navigate those patients to advanced care at the most appropriate time and at the safest location. There's many benefits to what we are working on. Nudge technology increases adherence by 6%. Having an accountability partner to ensure you take your medication is key in working in the drug management space. Physicians can conduct e-rounds and receive updates from connected devices in wearables of what the patient is doing in their home because they're not able to visit an in-office location as they once were. We are very passionate about healthcare, and we are excited about what we are doing. I am David Franklin, U.S. Navy Gulf War veteran, service connected, and I'm a technologist. And my co-founder, Dr. James Powell, has 24 years of clinical research experience in the biopharmaceutical industry. We have a very strong team of advisors, and we've already taken on new members of our company to work in various roles. Our market size, if we look at, there are 4.3 billion prescriptions that were filled in 2019. And remember, 50% of those prescriptions are not taken as prescribed. This results in a $350 billion per year healthcare cost. Our current target audiences are women between the ages of 28 and 58. Our path to market is very different than traditional means. We look to connect to partners like Omron, A&D, and Nanan, which are current partnerships that we have in place, and reaching out to known patients that are using these devices to build our patient population. And in doing so, providing this value to the physician through these patient experiences. As our business model, we generate revenue by selling to providers, health institutions, contract research organizations, and insurers. We do this through a monthly fee, subscription-based model, and based off their cohort size of the patients they want to monitor and engage with, the price may fluctuate based on that activity. We do have competitors in the space, and it's a validated space for us, but we differentiate ourselves through accountability, through our services, and meeting the patient where they're at in their homes, in their daily activities before they arrive at the primary care facility. We have amazing traction over the last 20 months. You can see it here. And most recently through Hofstra and their interns, we've conducted LinkedIn outreach campaigns, resulting in a 56% connection rate with our buyer audience. And on top of that, we've come into our first pilot and then our LOI that we're under negotiations. Currently, we have an open raise and we're asking for providers, introductions to providers, health institutions, as we go into our funding round to move further. Thank you very much. I'm David Franklin, CEO and founder of KnowRx.
Thank you, David. Do any of the judges have questions for KnowRx?
Stacy, this is Dave. David, can you talk a little bit about who you're selling to? Who's where you've seen sort of traction so far in terms of the market? And as you said, there are a bunch of other companies sort of doing sort of similar things. I'm wondering what the market is telling you in terms of who's resonating with you and your company.
Yeah, so right now, one, we sell to providers, health institutions, clinical research organizations, higher education, and insurers. But our most immediate market penetration through the pilot, through the LOI, or through healthcare organizations, advocacy groups, human health services. And these are our buyers throughout that entire scale. Because of COVID, and we introduced individual health insights, we've also created a consumer revenue model to where they can have the health insights as a free app and then upgrade and pay for a medication management application at a low monthly fee. So now we have a client side buyer on the provider, health institution, clinical research. We have a potential buyer coming in on the consumer side through an upgradable app. And then through our incentives and rewards program on the consumer side, we have business applications that would advertise on our application for health, wellness, and applications like that to get revenue in there.
Thanks.
Thank you. Tim, you have a question?
I do. David, thank you. I just was wondering what your rationale for your target demographic of 28 to 58 women was, and following up on that, how do you monitor, and what are their what engagement metrics do you track for existing users?
So thank you for that question. And it's very near to me as well, because when my father passed away, I became a caregiver and my mother moved in with me. She's 78 and she has Parkinson's. But a 78-year-old is not digital in technology as much. And statistically, seniors are on more medications. But from a medication management standpoint, millennials and Gen X don't take their medications as prescribed even more. So we picked the audience of 28 to 58 because they're already digital, and as they age and as we're in an aging population, they will take the technology into the senior community with them. So we don't have to address the senior community first. And we focused on women in general because they're on more unique medicines and multiple medicines at one time. And they're also the gatekeepers into the community in most instances.
Thank you.
We have about 45 seconds left if any of the other judges have questions.
Yes, this is Harvey. Just a quick question. I've seen more products fail in this space than probably any other space that I'm familiar with. I saw your competition, but I think it's broader than that. Just talk about like why you don't think that's going to happen here.
We just selected a few. The difference is a lot about our philosophy, where they're coming at the problem, and the problem's longstanding, it pre-exists, and it hasn't been solved because they're coming at it from an industry standpoint, usually from a medication management of seniors and working with Medicaid. We're coming at it from empowering the patient and having more of a B2C to B type of model, and addressing the needs of the community and empowering the patient and providing value in the application for them as consumers before they enter into a healthcare system that's failing them.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Our next finalist is Legion X, represented by CEO John Vogt from Centerport, New York.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm John Vogt, founder of Legion X, a solution that helps identify, collect, preserve, and analyze data in days with one user rather than months with legions of analysts. If you're in the C-suite, this image absolutely terrifies you. But with Legion X, you can stay ahead of the headlines. Legion X enables users to quickly prove or disprove allegations of malfeasance, allowing leadership to take quick action rather than costly reactive measures. Today, employees have large digital footprints, and there's absolutely no sign of this slowing down. The e-discovery market has grown rapidly. It was just $12 billion in 2019 and will be over $20 billion in just 4 years. Every organization needs an e-discovery solution, not only for internal investigations, but also to comply with inquiries from the SEC, the EEOC, and others. Legion X is aware of the pain points organizations face and how current offerings completely miss the mark. Executives routinely spend $250,000 hiring attorneys to read thousands of emails on an SEC inquiry, and this is on top of their existing e-discovery spend on software. One executive described their current software as a clunky electronic file cabinet, nothing more. The industry can do better, and there's clearly a need for an innovative solution like Legion X. So how can Legion X solve these problems? There are 3 main ways. First, Legion X is a more adaptable core product. Legion X is not a typical software product, it is fully customizable. Legion X is easy to use. If you can do a Google search, you can use Legion X. Legion X is able to search any file type, including video files and chat apps like Slack. We are not just an email search tool like our competitors. Legion X is deployable in multiple environment types. Legion X can be integrated into a customer server where it can proactively monitor data in real time, or in our cloud, where unlimited data can be securely processed with great speed. Legion X also has patent-pending AI that brings overlooked suspicious emails to the forefront and improves with every single search. We've assembled probably the most well-rounded team to deliver Legion X. Tyler, our COO, consults in the area of process-driven technology integrations. Chirag, our CTO, is a data scientist who helps companies build predictive analytics and automated work streams. Andrew, our CMO, is an intelligence specialist with experience in tech sales. Aaron, our VP of Biz Dev, is a proven strategic partnership builder in both public and private sectors. Kurt, our GC, has extensive litigation and investigation experience using other available e-discovery solutions. Kurt and I worked together in federal HR investigations for several years and have firsthand knowledge of the shortcomings of current market offerings. LeadGenX teams has a combined 65 years of litigation, investigations, data science, management consulting, and biz dev experience. Like I said, you really couldn't ask for a better team to carry this across the finish line. LeadGenX is comprised mainly of military veterans and qualifies as a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business. In fact, LeadGenX is the only SDVOSB with a proprietary e-discovery solution. About half of the $12 billion spent in 2019 were US-based, and government is about 45% of that e-discovery market. And here's where the SDVOSB advantage comes into play. Federal contracts up to $150,000 must be awarded to an SDVOSB and may be awarded even without competition. Contracts greater than 150K must have an SDVOSB subcontracting plan in place. LeadGenX partnered with Webhouse, an SDVOSB cloud service provider with government contract experience. This partnership allows Webhouse to use its track record of proven successful client delivery and offers LeadGenX to its large client base. LeadGenX was asked to join ACEDS as a member corporate partner. ACEDS is a member organization focused on e-discovery, and we gain access to people and companies with vast networks of specific e-discovery needs. The Critical app is a solution for employees to convey HR concerns. This partnership is a combination of both of our unique products. In the event of an HR issue, LeadGenX then identifies data that can support or refute those claims. We've gained interest in being part of a Big Four consulting firm's core offerings. And also recently, we launched a LinkedIn video marketing campaign where just in 2 weeks, we gained 4,000 e-discovery practitioners' awareness of LeadGenX in the marketplace. Here's the LeadGenX interface. Data is either uploaded directly into LeadGenX or it is automated through APIs that integrate with client infrastructure, such as Microsoft Exchange. The user can explore LeadGenX's interface and start searching. LeadGenX has flags for NSFW terms, order confirmations, outside of domain emails, and more. These flags can be tailored to client needs. Flagging allows the customer to quickly isolate specific data. Another feature of LeadGenX is sentiment analysis. Data is displayed with an overlay of positive, neutral, or negative sentiment. Once a search is executed, relevant data is displayed in dashboards. Here we have over 27,000 Enron emails where fraud and obstruction were quickly identified and using LeadGenX, and we back tested and forward tested this data set to make sure that we had the right picture. This is what LeadGenX displays. A user visualizes those connected in an issue. Whether this is a reactive search, such as an SEC inquiry, or continuous monitoring, the user will be able to identify all involved. No one gets off the hook. LeadGenX has a clear market pathway. We have a 5-year plan for transforming LeadGenX from a tailored solution to a fully licensable product. The e-discovery space is large, growing, and full of ineffective solutions. We've identified these weak points of competitors, and as users of these products know that LeadGenX is superior. We are living in a transparent time. Information can be leaked and judgment comes from the public, not the company. Our tool enables organizations to know before others have the chance to find out. LeadGenX will make a large impact on the e-discovery industry and helps clients avoid fallout from the court of public opinion. LeadGenX is on the mission to rediscover the field of e-discovery. I'm John Vogt, CEO and founder of LeadGenX. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Do any of the judges have questions for John about LeadGenX?
I do. John, I'm quite familiar with the application potentially in investigations. In that sphere, who actually makes the buying decision? And a secondary question is, I think I heard you saying that you might use the tool in real time as a diagnostic, not in an investigation setting. If that's the case, how receptive are clients to running it in real time, and how much of your business model is based on that, if I heard you correctly?
Yes, correct. We definitely have a two-pronged approach here. We can have active monitoring where emails can, at the click of a button, connect to Microsoft Exchange. And if you're doing an employee global address lookup, right, bring up all of those emails. But like you said, some companies are reluctant to have kind of this power in-house. And with respect to privacy and things like that, they prefer the more reactive approach to having an e-discovery on hands to get to the bottom of things. So we are tailorable in that fact. We know the government overall, because the lengthy process to request data to be exported from IT, leaders and decision makers would benefit greatly by having this functionality, especially in internal affairs or IG's office in a government agency, where currently this functionality doesn't exist anywhere and needs to. So it is a mix. I think I'm leaving off the second half of your question. Can you remind me?
The first part of my question was, who is your client? Is it general counsel inside a corporation?
Oh, excellent question. Yep. So general counsel, they seem to deal with a lot of these issues, but also your chief human capital officers, and also in the field of people analytics, right? This is an emerging field, especially in tech companies, where they want to get a holistic view of their project teams, particularly those who have executed on a successful project. And that's where that network affinity diagram comes into play. So maybe you have some introvert people who are maybe not forward speaking about their involvement on a product, but you can really drill in and see who that core project team is. And this is an emerging field. It's really cool. So there's a full spectrum of users who will find this application very useful. But the GCs traditionally and human capital officers are your decision makers and buyers.
Thanks, John. We have about a minute and a half left if any of the other judges have questions.
This is Harvey. So I've seen a bunch of products in the cross-platform search implementation area, which obviously has a different buyer than when you're talking about, but it seems like it's part of what your product is. Can you just talk to that as competition?
Absolutely. So as far as platform, cross-platform, I mean, the existing e-discovery market with the $20 billion industry, as of right now, most of the products do not have hard integrations. It is you are exporting data from those platforms and bringing them in. So that's where our APIs and customizability largely comes into play. But also, so say you're using a CRM or something like that, you're limited in functionality, say to Microsoft Exchange in decrypting emails and dealing with other things. So there really is no true one size fits all that does emails, chat apps, social media, and everything.
Okay, great. I think that is all the time we have. Thank you very much, John. The next finalist is Revolution Agriculture. The CEO is Richard Brion from Tacoma, Washington. So Richard, you could go ahead and share your screen.
All right, is everything on?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Richard Brion, founder and CEO at Revolution Agriculture. Here I am on my way to support farming operations in Afghanistan. I've also done this in Africa, and the access problems they have exist everywhere, even here, where 23.5 million people live in food deserts. Add in climate change, failing lean supply chains, and the COVID-19 pandemic, and buying fresh produce looks a lot like this. But what would the world look like if buying all types of fresh, local produce year-round was as easy as picking up your phone? We're building that, and even GeekWire is excited about it. See, there's more than 70 different ag tech investment vehicles, including one from this guy, where you can get tractors with more tech than a Tesla, AI for everything, $40+ million farms that look like something out of Star Trek, and for 120 grand, a farm box dropped off so you can run your own lettuce business. Yet none of these keep the shelves stocked. And here's why. It's too expensive for them to farm close to people. Plus, they can't farm everything year-round everywhere. So farm to table looks like this, with food traveling an average of 4,000 miles. Our Farmlet platform solves this. So farmlets are small, networked, decentralized, fully relocatable farming systems dropped off in the middle of every community. And unlike those fad farm boxes and Star Trek farms, farmlets grow all crop types, not just lettuce. And thanks to this variety, we're not beholden to those ridiculous supply chains. Our farm to table is within 10 miles, thanks to integrated partnerships with Instacart, Postmates, and others. It's literally as easy as picking up your smartphone. See, those one crop farms, they need those ridiculous supply chains to unload everything. We don't. What's better is that our partnerships give us access to 85% of US households. In fact, since the pandemic, adoption has been increasing. 1 in 3 Americans bought groceries online last month. So our patent pending farmlets are supported by our farmlet operating system. And this thing's cool. Using a program that I designed, thanks to teaching quantitative decision modeling, it collects production and demand data from the network to tell us the right crops to grow, the right time to maximize performance within each community. We've already proven the prototype works. Everything you see, we've grown far more than the competition. We hit first revenues in the Hofstra program, proving product market fit. Revenues are up 500% to date. We've also had other significant exposure. Next is to deploy a full plug and play pilot. Electric plus water plus modern distribution equals a revolution in agriculture with revenues starting within 6 months. This pilot further proves that our idea is different than everyone else and that it's an exercise in just pure scaling. To follow, we have 76 other locations signed up for farmlets, and the Hofstra seed resources will get us growing. So remember when I said relocatable? This is an idea that's key. They have to be temporary in order to be permanent, because municipalities where we can get an early toehold can't get approval for a permanent structure. But like a mobile home, there's a bit of a loophole that once we prove works, cities will beg us for our farmlets because we can provide much needed revenue on idle property, simply moving when they need it back. And this is true for all land use. Need it back? No problem. We just move and we still have a revenue generating asset. So back to that first pilot. It's in a natural paths parking lot. And if this was a permanent farm, it's unlikely to get approved. But since it's temporary, like a shipping container, we can run with it, selling fresh local produce year round direct to the consumers while providing a share of the proceeds to the host. So for you analysts, some quick defensible numbers. Everybody eats. Demand for local produce is at 68%, supply about 3%. So assuming 75% efficiency, our standard crop farmlet averages $55,000 a year in revenue. Better when we have specialty crops. And since farmlets are smaller, grow more of one thing faster, with far cheaper land costs, our unit economics are solid, about a 36% EBIT that improves when we add in those specialty crops. But what's more intriguing is that with less than $50 in ad sales, we've achieved revenues and have 76 other locations confirmed for farmlets. With these farmlets operating, we're looking at 4.2 million just from those standard crops. So this is a massive opportunity, and we've got the team. Now it's a Series B team, but not to worry, because it's a deferred cost until later. We have design and engineering, manufacturing and labor economics, and the venture-backed startup guy that's also an award-winning cultivator. We've worked together for years. So to close, according to the World Bank, we have until 2050 to do food better, or we'll face mass hunger. We have a responsibility to improve food access equality for everyone, and our farmlets are a big part of this future. So the question is, do we invest in a company solely to make money, or do we invest in a sustainable business model that does good at the same time?
Great. Thank you so much, Richard. So first, we're going to go to Cheryl Casone for a question.
Hi, great presentation. It's a hot market. I definitely understand that and know the possibilities here, but I'm wondering about your core customer. Is it more on the producer side, or is it more on the consumer side, or is it maybe a mix of both? Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so real quick, initially we're starting with a B2C model for a number of reasons. One, regulation makes it incredibly difficult to go from farming stuff to selling stuff to businesses. And there's plenty of companies in our space that have learned that the hard way. Fifth Season Farms in New York, they're one that learned that the hard way. Over 2 years of just donating and throwing away food because they went B2B first, because they weren't regulatory compliant yet. So B2C is also kind of where the most of the agriculture industry is starting to see things, even Tanamura and Antle, one of the largest greenhouse producers of lettuce. Eventually, we will move into a B2B play for more like specialty crops to retailers or restaurants. And then we will also add a B2G model later where farmlets can be placed into places like Afghanistan so that we can localize some of that cost. Because, for example, US government is importing 6,000 tons of produce every single year to the US Embassy in Kabul, all the way from the Netherlands to Afghanistan, or from Netherlands and Australia.
Are you targeting, like right now you're on the West Coast, but is your bigger plan to be more international or is it more domestic?
Yes, so those 76 confirmed locations, we have them in Alaska, Washington, California, New York, South Carolina, and 10 in Norway.
Okay.
And in 2018, I was actually in Afghanistan, invited by the family that imports the food for the embassy to take a look at the possibility of adding one in Kabul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Harvey Brafman.
Yeah, hi. So I have a question. I wasn't really clear on this. Are you guys doing anything about the efficiency of the growth? So where they're not losing a percentage of the crops? Is there some vertical component to this, lighting? And labor, how is that being addressed by just dropping one of these things?
Okay, so we own and operate the entire thing. So we will have labor. Using data that we have through New Mexico State University, a partnership there, we use the existing greenhouse labor and whatnot, and then our production rates, which I'll get into a second. And we basically came to a certain number of hours normalized over a 52-week period per person or per farmlet location. And then we doubled it just to be safe, to make sure we had enough labor coverage. And that's all incorporated. As far as our production goes, the fertilization method that we use is built from other ponic-based systems. So we're in those test crops that you've seen that we've grown, we've been able to achieve seed to harvest 50% faster than average. And of course, my phone goes off. So anyway, we've also had up to 175% increase in yields in the same space. And so we're able to plant more, plant faster, and turn over faster. And yes, as far as lighting goes, where we have no ability to use natural sunlight to supplement, we will use LED lighting as another option. But we're trying to keep our footprint down as much as possible.
Thanks, Richard. We have about 40 seconds, and I know Dave had a question. Dave Colon, would you like to ask it quickly?
Yeah, I just wondered about manufacturing and scalability of manufacturing of these farmlets. Could you talk about that quickly?
Yeah, so initially we're going to start with shipping containers that are pre-built from a company here locally that does full climate control, -10 to +80. They start out already pre-built, everything wired to go. We just have to implement our growing system, can pick them up and drop them off on a truck. It takes about six months total from a ready to deploy to build out to get it on site, planted, and actually in revenue.
Great. Thank you so much, Richard. Yep. Next is Rope Safe USA, and Jonathan Norton is the CEO, and he will be pitching from Killingworth, Connecticut.
Hi, can you hear me, Stacy?
I can hear you, and we can see your screen.
Awesome. Okay, now that it comes up. During my final duty assignment, I was responsible for the safety of over 1,000 Ranger students per year. And one morning, I witnessed one of those students nearly fall to his death while rappelling because our rope protector sheared on the side of the cliff. This fundamentally questioned my ability to keep my soldiers and students safe. Sadly enough, this is still happening to this day. Good afternoon. My name is Jonathan Norton, and I am the founder and CEO of Rope Safe USA. And as I mentioned, this problem is still happening to this day. And how are our competitors taking care of their customers right now? For the New York Police Department Emergency Services Unit, a cloth pad with duct tape. Navy SEAL Team 6, a canvas tarp. Most fire departments use a heavy and bulky mixed bag of protection. And of course, duct tape. To us, this is completely unacceptable, yet solvable, which is why I invented Rope Safe. Rope Safe is a dual-use and load-bearing rope protector and anchor strap that protects a life safety rope from abrasion or failure on sharp surfaces. It is intuitive, easy, and rapid to install, allowing the rescuer to access their victims and perform critical life-saving care. It stays in position on the edge of the cliff or building where you need it, and it is universally accepted, and we have product to market fit in sales in the construction industry, Department of Defense, and the first responder community. And after over 90% of elite military units and first responders that tested RopeSafe had converted to customers. And excitingly, we've been able to scale our business through direct sales with over 70 customers, 4 countries across 5 industries. But we knew we had to create a scalable business model. So let's talk about the margins. I sell RopeSafe for $140 per unit. Our cost of goods sold around $40, leaving us about $100 of gross margin, 71% gross margin ratio. This gives us plenty of space to bring on 2 major distributors whom we've forged relationships with that have an ecosystem of over 120 sales reps across North America and sell to over 50% or own over 50% of the equipment distribution market. This relationship was just codified in a national press release on Fire Engineering magazine with the readership of fire chiefs across the globe after Conway Shield invested $25,000 in inventory. And here's why this model makes sense for both companies, both myself and the distributors. Our dealers purchase RopeSafe at $97.97 per unit. The cost of goods remains unchanged. Our gross margin ratio, 59%, allowing us to plug into that expansive distribution ecosystem and avoid the expensive cost of growing a large sales force. And excitingly, our company was just awarded an Air Force Small Business Innovation Research contract for $750,000 to develop a new product, a variation of RopeSafe, visible in the infrared spectrum. This grants us rapid acquisition and sole source acquisition rights within the entire federal government. We will reduce our cost of goods sold by 25% and significantly increase our profit margins. And with the certifications that we are in the process of obtaining, we will be able to access a global market of over $400 million, spanning from the construction industry to the first responder community, all the way to the recreational climber. Currently, this graph represents our current sales and our SBIR contracts to date. As you can see, our sales have been growing, and we're leveraging the benefits of the SBIR contract to access greater market opportunities in both the US and across the globe. And this is where we need a sales director, so I can focus my time, energy, and effort on the SBIR contract and continuing to sell into strategic accounts, and so we can achieve our out-year forecast. During the Hofstra Veterans Venture Challenge, we got as much juice as the squeeze as we could get. We launched 3 marketing campaigns that resulted in over 290 leads into our sales funnel. And furthermore, we closed 5 deals of value of $16,400. Big shout out to the Hofstra student interns. They rocked. And with your investment of $44,000, we are going to fund that entirely, put all those funds into hiring a sales director who can manage that expansive network of distributors and continue our direct sales momentum, resulting in a 10x growth over the next 12 months, representing about $410,000 of sales. And here's the team that is passionate and committed to do it with a blend of experience in sales and marketing, engineering, and execution. We are committed to move this product to the market. And we have a board of advisors of senior military officers, entrepreneurs, and executives that hold us accountable to our sales goals and support our growth. But what binds us together is our firm and resolute commitment to protect the men and women whom are serving our country and our communities and keeping our families safe. My name is Jonathan Norton, and this is RopeSafe, and I welcome your questions.
Thank you, Jonathan. Do any of the judges have questions for Jonathan?
Tim, Stacy, I believe you have a patent on this. Could you just tell us a little bit, give us a little bit more detail about the patent and what you see?
Sure.
How much will that protect your product?
It's too quick. So yes, we've just been awarded a second patent as well, Tim, which makes it what's unique about rope safe is that it is a dual use. You can use it as a rope protector, but also as an anchoring strap. So furthermore, part of our entry into the market, we did testing with Navy SEAL Team 6, Army Rangers, Green Berets, the FDNY, NYPD, and they have all purchased this solution. So part of our competitive differentiation is the quality of our customer base. But we know that's not enough. We're continuing to add further patents. We have another continuation in part filing to continue to protect us and are bombarding the airwaves with the success stories of rope safe.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Jonathan?
I was, Stacy, Dave Cologne. I'm just wondering what you see in terms of competition. I know you said, the alternative has been, kind of pathetic, whether it's duct tape or, canvas bags or whatever. But, obviously life and death here. What other things are in the marketplace that other, companies are developing?
It's a good question, Dave. A lot of those competing solutions are actually made by Sterling Rope, CMC. These are some of our major customers, Chafe Pro. And the way we like to say it is that, rope protection for our competitors is an afterthought, where for us, it's our only thought. So we take this problem very seriously. And this allows us to focus on getting the product right that's universally accepted across multiple industries, which we have.
Can you just talk to the wear of this product itself, in applications, how often it has to be replaced and stuff?
So it certainly depends. Navy SEAL unit doing rappelling out of helicopters all day long for training can burn through one of these in a couple of training sessions. To our first customer, which is the 5th Ranger Training Battalion, they purchased their product over a year ago, and they're just about to reorder. So that's that it spans, from the fire department to may keep it for a couple of years. But it has a 5-year shelf life is what it's recommended for.
Great, thank you, Jonathan, and thank you to the judges. So we actually have our final participant today. Rob Thielen will be presenting Round, and he's from Durham, North Carolina. Whenever you're ready, Rob.
Can you see my screen? And can you hear me?
Yes.
Outstanding. Let's minimize this. Good afternoon. My name is Robert Thielen, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Round, starting a data revolution. We believe everyone deserves individual data privacy, ownership, and security. Whether or not you think data privacy is a big deal in the US, to businesses, it is huge. 98% of US businesses are not compliant with current US data laws. 4 out of 5 US adults want more control over their personal data, and an astonishing 71% of Americans will not even use a COVID-19 tracing app because of data privacy concerns. Data privacy fears are driving behavior and are impacting us all. But adding data privacy and ownership to apps and websites is a nightmare. It can cost upwards of $500,000 to implement the current options or build their own. It takes hundreds of hours a month to monitor and execute these data requests that come out. And developers hate compliance work, and they hate data request work. It's mundane and pretty awful. Data privacy has stayed ad hoc and costly until now. We created Round to give end users control over their data while making it easy for developers to implement it. We are developer first. Let's say a developer wants to add data privacy and ownership to a website or app. All they got to do is come to the Round platform, log in, create an application, takes a few seconds, and then they start modeling their data. They pick a data type, they pick how long the data is active, and they pick a justification. The allowance period is huge because data regulations require company only keep data as long as they absolutely need it. So a pizza delivery company can only keep your address as long as they're delivering your pizza. Then according to the law, they have to delete it or get a $1,000 fine for every single request they keep after that. But an email address, they can keep into perpetuity if they're sending coupons or a newsletter. So a developer could do all this stuff and spend hours maintaining it, or they can click a button and it's done. Same with justification. Every piece of data needs to be justified, and we make it easy to do that. After you're done adding your data, you just simply integrate with your existing systems with our very easy to use APIs and SDKs, and you're done. Now you can start sending personal data to Round. Why would you send it to Round? Because we are secure by design. This is our secret sauce. Each end user is treated as a data owner. There is no giant data lake to target by hackers or for a large reach. Instead, there's thousands or millions of data puddles, each with their own security, each with their own encryption, each with their own personal governance, making it nearly impossible to hack and have a giant data breach. After that, you just got to give end users access to the data, and we make that very easy with our plug and play end user data portal. And now end users, you and I, have control over our data. We can go to an app or website and actually control it. We just click on the button that's easy to add. As you can see here, one of our partners has it on their website. And then all you have to do is see the data you have, go in and understand why it's being harvested, and then you can revoke access to it. Not only does it build confidence and trust in the brands that consumers interact with, but it also saves hundreds of hours a month for developers because it's self-service, they don't have to worry about it anymore. Our go-to-market strategy is pretty straightforward. We're focused on US-based small and medium businesses first because there's such a huge need, as we talked about. Then we're moving to government and enterprise because the government needs so much help with this, as we talked about with that COVID-19 tracing app. And finally, our vision is to create a data marketplace where consumers, you and I, can go trade and sell our data for goods and services and even money in the future. But to get those SMBs, we're focusing on developers first. We're finding them on LinkedIn and through our blog and thought leadership. And we have a freemium model that drives the try it phase. We're enabling partnerships with app dev shops and ID validation firms through rev share model, and we're finding them through the same channels. And we're going after high value opportunities like SBIR grants. Our business model is pretty straightforward. We're B2B SaaS, we're consumption based. So the more that we sell, the more that is used, the more it costs, and we're freemium, make it super easy. Our competitors are largely focused on fees, consulting type models, and have large upfront costs. This is a $5.5 billion market and growing at 27% a year. We have a number of MVP customers. We have tons of traction behind it. So we have $24,000 annualized revenue. And we've also been deemed selectable for Air Force Phase 2 SBIR for R&D contract to research and implement data privacy for the DoD. Our team was deemed, we were deemed compelling with a team that could execute the proposal. Let's meet that team. We have a diverse team that has Google, IBM, Amazon alums on it. We have 2 veterans, myself and Richard Porter as a Marine, and we have a diverse educational background. But we all met at IBM. We live and breathe SaaS. We know how to bring it to market. And I personally owned a $100 million a year SaaS products. And we have 3 in a box. We have designers, we have architects, and we have me as a product owner. Our ask is we're going to spend every cent on fueling our go-to-market and growth. We already have a product and we're ready to roll. This is Marin. I started Round to protect her. Right now, her personal data is not hers. It'll be sold, exploited, and stolen so many times. We can do better. We must do better. Let's start a data revolution. We are Round. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Rob. Do any of the judges have questions for Rob?
Stacy, it's Dave. Rob, can you talk to us a little bit more about sort of your traction to date? Sounds like you built out the product, but who's using it and who's paying for it?
Yep. So we've raised, we had a pre-seed round and we've raised some money. Right now we're in beta. So we have a number of customers that are trying out. It's actually interesting because the range of customers, because we have everything from a regional burrito shop that's a restaurant that really cares about data privacy, all the way to permits.com, which is really interested in providing permits to a lot of people. So it's really diverse. Our upfront, we have a number of pre-orders that have been put in by those two firms. So it's mostly medium-sized businesses, $5 to $15 million a year in revenue that are focusing on us right now. But yeah, we have some traction, and as I said, the Air Force, we're currently finalizing that contract to be the data privacy provider for the United States Air Force for their apps.
Thank you.
Great question. I appreciate that.
Any other questions?
Yeah, this is Harvey. Sorry. So I'm just a little confused. I mean, you say you're dev ready, dev first. So the customer here is those businesses, but the developers are the ones that have to implement. Could you just clarify on that?
Yeah. So we basically are the Stripe for personal data privacy. So Stripe makes it super easy to add a credit card processing to any app or website, and we do the exact same thing with data privacy. So devs will do whatever is easiest. They want to just get on with it. So we're making it super easy for devs to do it. So when their boss does say we need data privacy, they're looking for a solution that takes the least amount of time, is in their budget, and they can just implement and not have to worry about in the future. So that's kind of our focus. So we've done a lot, in the past with our previous SaaS experiments, understanding that the buyer is usually like a team lead or maybe a CTO for a small organization. But the influencer, the huge influencer here, are developers, because they're the ones who say, I want to do this, or they will fight tooth and nail if it sucks. I know for a fact they will, and that's our go-to-market strategy.
Great, thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. So that concludes the pitches. I just want to say on behalf of the Hofstra team, we know how many hours you all worked, and they were very strong. And I do not envy the judges. They have a very difficult task in selecting the top three. So what's going to happen now is we are going to go with the judges in a separate Zoom and take a break. And then we'll be back here around 12:55 to announce the winners, the top three winners. And Kevin Hasselberg, our program sponsor, will be announcing the winners. And I just want to thank him and his wife, Sarah, and his family again for sponsoring this program. So we will see you in about 20 minutes or so. everyone. Carla, are we ready? There's a little bit of feedback again. I know everybody's waiting patiently. Okay, so we are ready. So I am going to hand the program over to Kevin Hesselberg to announce the winners. And again, great job, everybody. And we look forward to continuing to work with you at Hofstra.
Thanks, Stacy. I just wanted to thank everyone as well before we get going with the winners. Again, you know, the genesis of this program was to try to figure out a way where I could link my charitable giving to create something that had a multiplier effect on the marketplace with a real productive outcome. And I think from everyone who participated in the program and what you can see, really excited about, you know, what these companies have all achieved throughout the course of the program. I think, you know, Jonathan was in his presentation very effusive around everything that took place, and really proud of the fact that many of these companies actually achieved their first revenues during the program. Some of them actually raised some money during the program. So I think from that standpoint, it's been a real productive use. I'd like to thank, before I begin, a couple of people. First of all, Coleman Fung. Coleman not only is a great guy, he gave me my first opportunity to be a CEO, and co-sponsored the program with me. He likes to stay behind the scenes, but he does a ton with veterans and veteran charitable organizations himself. And I'd like to thank him for contributing into the program. Certainly have to thank the entire Hofstra team, Stacy Sykes and Sharon Goldsmith, Judith Peterson, who helped everyone with their marketing, Aaron Foss, who did a great job with everyone with their presentations, and all the student interns. We had a great group of interns, and Hofstra was just really supportive throughout the program, helping them even transition from the lack of internship opportunities for their students and quickly pivoting them into our program so we could help these great veteran companies. In addition, I mean, as much as all these companies showed greatly today, and they are very much improved, many of them have been through other veteran programs and are graduates of those programs. So, you know, people like Patriot Boot Camp and Bunker Labs and the Veteran Chamber of Commerce and the Veteran Business Outreach from the Small Business Association. A lot of the people who have been through our program here received prior tutelage from those organizations, and they're great organizations, and we thank them for their support. And we look forward to doing this again next year with the help of those organizations as well and their support. So now on to the big stuff, the money and the prizes. So we're going to go from number 3 and then end with the number 1. So the third prize goes to a great company. They've been incredible going through this process from a marketing standpoint and really being able to you know, kind of help other companies as well through the process and what they could do for their marketing. And third prize goes to At Ease. So Anthony Gant, it was a great presentation. Thanks so much. And really thanks so much for a lot of your help. You probably did more than anybody else in the program, helping your fellow veterans with some of the marketing help and whatnot. And it was really teaching some of the interns as well. So great job, and thanks so much. Number 2 goes to a really innovative company. It's been a pleasure working with him. He's probably one of the people who took on a lot of our advice through the process and really did a super job and really has a great opportunity in front of him. And that goes to Bobby Cassie at Explorers Guide Online. So great job, Bobby, or Captain Bobby, I should say. And one day maybe I'll learn how to you know, drive my own boat. So we'll see what happens. But in the interim, great job, Bobby. I look forward to seeing your product out there. And number 1 is actually a little personal to me because right at the beginning of this program, I actually had surgery, and it required me to utilize the very uncomfortable leg bag. And I can't tell you how I wish this product, or at least I knew this product existed. So we really want to be able to help him get his product going out there for all the people who suffer from this, and really also help as he expands it to the pediatric marketplace, which I think is going to be used. So first prize goes to Brian Mojica at Cathware. So great job, Brian. Awesome job. So once again, I want to thank everyone through the program. Hopefully everyone participated would come back out of this and say that their company is better as a result of participating. Thank you to all the judges. I know we had a hard time getting through some of those top three. And to everyone who didn't, unfortunately come in within the top three. I know there were a lot of investors on the line, and hopefully we'll be able to help make some connections for you guys as well going forward. So once again, thanks everyone. Thanks for participating. And I look forward to doing this again next year. Good. Awesome.
If we were in person, we'd all be clapping and cheering.
I really wanted the big check to hand out too. So next year I'll have to do this in person. So I get one of those big checks.